Good evening, good evening, good evening, everybody. Good evening. I pray that you guys are having an amazing day and that you're not as sleepy as I am on this moment. But I'm going to let you guys come in. Have a few things that I'd like to share with y'all before I do a little bit of teaching, and then from there, first, hey, how are you seeking Him daily? Seeking Him daily. I sometimes speak too fast, and then that coupled with my southern accent does not do me justice. How are you? How are you? Look like you're the only. Well, no, we got other people in here. They just haven't said anything yet. So as you guys begin to come in, make sure that you are identifying yourself and just saying hello, Sister Paris and Diary of a Classy Girl. How are y'all? Y'all, I missed y'all. Hey, Sister Cinquette, how are you, beautiful lady? Sister Venetra, how are you? Amber, April, Kelly, how y'all doing? How are y'all? I'm gonna get this southern accent together. Who else we got? Kelly, Jesse, how are you? Bessie, hello. Denisha, Pat, Marge, Joda. How are y'all? Good evening. What is today? You know, when you work from home, you don't even know what the day is. Okay, today Friday. Good Friday to you guys. Good Friday to y'all. I pray that y'all have had an amazing week. I haven't had the opportunity to come out and to say hello. Hello, Sister Gina, Sister April. I missed you too. I missed y'all too. I haven't had the opportunity to come out and say much of anything to you guys because I've been really busy. And if you don't know, I just finished 3 books. It was supposed to be one. That was the goal. It was supposed to be one book. Microscribology, it's on there. You spelled it wrong. But you still should be able to spell it. I mean, find it with that. Let me type it in. Microscribology. I'm going to mention that as well. But I haven't had the opportunity to come on here, and I'm not going to be on here long on today because I just finished what was supposed to be one book, which is called the Book of Boundaries. And this is one of the most needed books in the world today because a lot of times people don't know how to establish boundaries. And what I love about these books, and I haven't published them, so this is not an advertisement. But what I really love about this set of books, it was supposed to be one. It ended up being so thick or being so much content that it's now 3 books. But what I love about this is I talk about regions of thought. I talk about even how God delivered me from a really extremely bound family to where I am today. You know, basically how He had me to actually walk in my God-given authority, how He taught me to do that. And a lot of the counseling that I do, I think the majority of the counseling that I do has everything to do with people not knowing how to establish boundaries. And to be honest with you, the majority of us, we've never been taught that. You know, we've been taught a lot of things, but we haven't had anyone to actually sit us down and to teach us to establish boundaries or outside of emotionalism. A lot of times people are reactive in giving us advice because we are reactive in sharing our stories. So we come up and say, you know, this man did this or this woman did this girl's supposed to be my friend, and this is what happened to me. And then a lot of times they give us reactive advice where they're like, well, what you're going to have to do, girl, I will cut her tail off, grab her, hit her in the throat. No, you actually need somebody to sit down and to show you what boundaries are, why boundaries are needed, and how to establish and enforce boundaries. I've said this to you guys before. One of the most important things is not establishing boundaries because that's easy. I can tell everybody on here, hey, here's my email address. I want you to send me at least 10 to 20 boundaries that you've set this week. You know, just listening or just getting an idea of boundaries that you know that needs to be set. I want you to create a document this week and I want you to write down 10 things, 10 boundaries that you are going to set in your life. And the majority of people on here will happily comply. Thank you, Sister Venetia. But the majority of people on here will happily comply. But the issue will begin to manifest itself when the time comes to enforce those boundaries. That's the hardest thing. And that's because when you're dealing with Jezebels or narcissistic people, whenever you start to set boundaries, they know how to get you to pull those boundaries back down. They know how to manifest, to punish you, to argue. They know exactly the amount of pressure to take, to put on you to get you to remove those boundaries. And if you're not careful, if you're not the type of person that is willing to live without them, then you have to tolerate it. One of the greatest weapons against a narcissistic person is your ability to not depend on them and to live without them, to say to them, hey, listen, here's my boundary. Either honor it or get the heck out of my life. It's as simple as that. Either honor it or get the heck out of my life. And for you to actually enforce that, because they'll tell you, well, I don't have to have nothing to do with you. I don't need you. I don't want you. You know what? Go ahead. You ain't no blessing to me anyhow. They'll tell you whatever it is. They think is going to get you to pull that boundary back down. And they will even go months and years of no contact with you to teach you a lesson or what have you. But that's why I tell people, you have to be the one that says, you know what, I'm probably going to have to live my life without this person. This is probably going to be somebody that I'm not going to have a relationship with. As much as I love to have a relationship with this person, this is probably someone I'm not going to be able to have a relationship with. And you have to learn to be okay with it. You have to cry it out. You got to pray it out. You got to get past it. And then you got to walk it out. And at the end of it, in some cases, you will have to live your life without that person. And then there are other cases where the person will eventually come around. Sometimes it could be months down the road. Many times it's years down the road when the person will reach back out to you and, they'll say, hey, how are you doing? How are you doing? And when they come back, you always have to reintroduce yourself. It's like, this is who I am today. And, and you still have to reestablish those boundaries and let them know, hey, this isn't an option. Disrespecting me. This is why a lot of times when people say to me that their mothers are cursing them out, my mama keep disrespecting me. And I'm like, yeah, and I'm gonna have to be the bearer of bad news. Can you draw a boundary? Would you be willing to live without her? That's hard. That's hard. Would you be willing to live without her? And a lot of times people are like, yeah, but that's my mom. I get it. You got to love your mom. But sometimes you have to draw what's called hard boundaries. I deal with that in this book. But it's an amazing book. It's going to really teach you how to establish boundaries. I have a ton of stories in there. I talk about situations that I was in that I had to draw boundaries and dreams that God gave me. So it's an amazing book. I can't wait to release it. Okay, so I'll get to your questions shortly. Okay, but today I didn't want to talk about boundaries. I just wanted to let you guys know that that book is coming up and out, God willing, in the month of July. I will have released that book. Now, what I do want to talk to you really briefly is about your purpose, because a lot of people don't understand. They don't know what their purpose is. Thank you to everybody who's liked this video. For everybody else, hey, do me a favor. Make sure you like it. Make sure you're sharing it. But a lot of times when it comes to our purpose, our assignment, we think that our purpose has everything to do with the work that we're supposed to be doing. Thank you. Like, okay, somebody may say, if I say, what's your purpose? And you say, well, you know what, I'm going to school for nursing because I've always liked people, always loved people, always wanted to help people. That's not your purpose. That's not your purpose. That is the means by which God gives you to carry out your purpose. That is one of the avenues that God gives you to carry out your purpose. But that's not your purpose. My pastor always talks about this. Your purpose is to destroy the works of the enemy. That's what all of us, we all have the same purpose. But the way that we destroy the works of the enemy is different. We all have our different avenues. Maybe yours is going to be nursing. But don't limit yourself to that, because a lot of times once you put a period where God wants to put a comma, it is very difficult for you to go beyond that period. It's very difficult for you to understand that God has something greater in store for you, because in your mind, you're thinking, well, I went to nursing school for 4 years and I did 2 years worth of this and I did this and I did that. I ain't about to throw all that away. You're not throwing that away. You can continue to do what God has or use the doors that God has opened, but at the same time, God may use you to do other things. God may take you across the world and have you doing something that you didn't plan to do. And so you have to be open for God to do what he wants to do in and through you. Thank you. This hair is busted. It is time to get it done again. But you have to be open for God to do what it is that he wants to do in and through you. Now, Just kind of off the subject of purpose, one of the things I wanted to ask you guys, and I think this is what I really wanted to talk about, is what are you doing on today? I really want to provoke, and I really should have changed the name of this message because we'd have a lot more people in here if this had something to do with men. If I said, hey, how to get the man of your dreams or what have you, but I think the mature people are in here. I think the right people are in here. So I do want to say this. If you are planning for God to do anything great in your life, you're believing God to do anything astronomical in your life, you have got to get to the point where you're going to have to put your hands to the plow. And that's what I wanted to ask you guys. We talk about purpose, we talk about assignment, we talk about calling, but where are your hands at right now? Not where you plan to put your hands. Yeah, next year I plan to write a book, or I plan to do this, or I wrote a book, or what have you. All of those things are great and dandy, but the Bible says to keep your hands on the plow. That means that it's not that, okay, I'm going to write a book or write a series of books, and then all of a sudden, I'm just like, well, I'm an author. One of the things I talk about in this book, or the book of boundaries, is you have to be careful that you don't prematurely climax. You have to be careful that you don't prematurely climax. And what that looks like, if you really, because we typically associate the word climax with sex. Let's go there. But what happens when somebody prematurely climaxes in sex? Let's just pretend that we're married and that we were married when we were doing the things that we shouldn't have done. But what happens when somebody prematurely climaxes? You're going to get upset, right? Because you're just like, are you serious? Or what have you? Well, that's how God feels whenever you feel like you have accomplished his will by just getting saved, or making one small accomplishment in his eyes. What God wants to do, everything that he does in and through you, is just the precursor for something else. Of all the things that God has blessed me to do, they're all still just a precursor to something else. It's not like the stuff that I'm doing right now is not a manifestation or a total manifestation of everything God wants to do in and through me. These are just precursors. And I'm not crazy enough to believe that I've done enough. I'm not crazy enough to believe that, what, I laid down and closed my eyes tonight and I didn't open my eyes back up, that I have done great and marvelous things. I think I've done okay. But for me, I want to manifest all of my potential. And that's one of the things I wanted to come on here today, and just to push you guys to try to manifest all of your potential. Because the enemy, he's okay with you doing a little bit of this or a little bit of that and getting you to settle in that. I remember when I was writing, I think I was writing like my 10th book at the time. And I remember a person in my life was telling me like, you don't need to write no more books right now. What you need to do is just focus on the books that you got, and you just need to promote them, what have you. And I'm just like, no, no. The books are out there. The people will search them. I'll promote them whenever I get a chance. But in the meantime, in between time, I got stuff to do. Meaning, I didn't allow myself to feel satisfied with that one accomplishment or those 10 accomplishments. I didn't sit up there and say, well, let me try to make a name for myself and push my book in the faces of all these different people. I just happen to believe that, hey, listen, put it out there, let people know. You have everybody, all of us, including Beyonce, has limited reach. She has more extensive reach than I have, but all of us have limited reach. And so the only way that we can increase our reach is through you guys, through the people that follow us. We increase our reach by saying, hey, make sure you share the videos, share my books, do this type, because whenever you do that, then what that does, it allows us to reach more people. Howbeit, the majority of people don't do that. The majority of people, and I'm gonna step on some feet with this, but the majority of people, they keep you a secret. Because they don't want nobody to know that they're getting help, because they're dealing with pride, because they are surrounded by people who are nosy. They're always thinking about my business and stuff like that. So the majority, like if I write a book and I say, hey guys, I need reviews, I can get 500 sales on that book. Of those 500 sales, probably out of 500, about 15 people will write a review. No lie, about 15 people will take their time out to write a review. The rest of them won't do it, because the majority of them are not thinking along those lines. And so what I try to do when I come out is I'm going to put the content out, and then I allow it to reach as far as it can reach, and that's all I can do. But I'm going to continue to manifest and continue to write until God tells me to stop. I'm going to continue to produce until God tells me to stop. And I'm encouraging you guys to do the same. Don't look at the length of your reach right now. Don't look at, well, it ain't like I got that many people connected to me. It's, well, I'm not going to write a book, because if I write a book, it's not like I got that many. No, I tell people this all the time. Think of it this way. I like to give this example. You think about this video that went viral maybe 2 or 3 years ago, where this guy, he had been in a relationship with this woman, and he decided to, surprise her with a surprise proposal, and then surprise her with a wedding on the same day. He had her blindfolded through the entirety of the video. They started off in some type of restaurant. Her children were in on it or what have you. They got her to come into the kitchen where there were loved ones. She was really surprised. He got on his knees. He proposed to her, and he had her thinking that she was about to go to a photo shoot, I think it was. And they went out on this photo shoot. He had her to get into a limousine. She had to do everything blindfolded. Went to this photo shoot, took her picture. She did all of these things. But then at the end of it, she pulls up at her own wedding. And, she's surprised because there are loved ones around. And I think every last one of us are like, oh, my God, I would love to have that. I would love to have somebody that loves me like that. I would love to have somebody that surprises me like that. A lot of us look at that type of thing and we're just like, oh, my gosh, that is so pretty. That was so really nice. But here's the thing. This is one of the things now. I tell people, after that video went super viral. Last I checked, I think it was, and that was about maybe a couple of years ago, it was like 24 million people had viewed that video. However, the mistake that I said that they made, they did great. Everything was amazing, and I pray that they have, a really good wedding, not wedding, they had a great wedding, but they have a good marriage. But the thing that I said that they made a mistake was that a year later, they manifested a book. A year later, they manifested a book, and I think she's on the cover of the book with the blindfold on, or what have you. But I'm like, okay. And to my brothers in Christ, out there that plans to do like a surprise, you want to ask the woman to marry you, and you want to do something big, dude, start writing a book. This is why I tell people, if you don't have that much reach, don't worry about it. Because I could think like she may have had a book in her, but thought, well, don't nobody know me, so no sense in me putting the book out there. But then she went viral, and you got to think about that. Then she all of a sudden went viral. And when she went viral, when you go viral, people go looking for your content. When you go viral, they say, who is this woman? And somebody says her name is such and such. And they say, okay, does she have anything else out there? And the book would have went viral with her. That's the reason you write and you don't worry about your reach right now, because you don't know what God's going to do in the future. You could end up being somebody who is proposed to in a very elaborate, dramatic, earth-shattering way. You can be somebody that goes out here. Maybe you end up catching something on camera that shouldn't have happened, or maybe you do an amazing feat, something that's unexpected. And that's what God likes to do. He likes to bless us inside of the of this realm called suddenly. But a lot of times we're too busy trying to do everything according to our own understanding. I just don't be having time, girl, to write the book. Let me tell you something. You write a book. I want to share this with you. You guys are writing a book pretty much every day. The majority of you, especially to my sisters in Christ, y'all are writing a book every day. You know where you're writing it at? Yeah, he gonna tell me. No, he don't. He don't know all this stuff. Can I say something to y'all? Do you know that a lot of people that are in your life, and if you when I put the book of boundaries out there, it exposes a lot of different personalities. Gonna blow your mind. Do you know there are people in your life, many of you, that have a call, have a purpose, have an assignment, that are nothing but distracting spirits? That's all they are. Their assignment is to distract you, and you call them bestie. No, you didn't hear what he said to me. Okay, now I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna let you finish. I'm gonna let you finish. You're writing a book every single day. This is the reason why you don't have time to sit down and write anything, because you emptying yourself out just like this. You know what I tell people all the time whenever I'm writing a book, one of the things that I had to stop doing, first and foremost, I had to stop letting people invade my life and call themselves my best friend. I had to stop letting I had to stop letting people invade my life, come into my life and say, oh, you know what? After 2 weeks of talking to them, they call me their best friend. After 2 weeks, they don't even know me like that. Call me their best friend. Knowing that there is this thing now with the tag best friend, that means we got to talk every day. Because that's what they mean. I want to talk to you every single day on the phone for several hours a day. Most women, that's how they define a best friend. You the person that I plan to call up every single day, so just part your eyebrows and get yourself ready in the morning, because I'm going to be calling you, and maybe some of them going to be FaceTime calls or what have you. I'm going to tell you about every fart. I'm going to tell you about every breath I take. I'm going to tell you about every burp I have. I'm going to tell you about every time I get indigestion. I'm going to call you up and tell you. You got these people that are distractions in your life that you're sitting there constantly talking to, and they have absolutely nothing to talk about, and you're sitting there pouring out every day. And I tell people, I said, one of the things I had to do is stop letting people do that to me, first and foremost. And then secondly, whenever I'm writing a book, I'm not available. I don't make myself that available. Whenever I'm manifesting something, I go ghost. Whenever I'm working on something, I pretty much go ghost. Now, it's not to say I don't talk to my friends. It is to say I try not to have empty conversations, even when I'm not working on something, which is very rare. But I try not to have empty conversations. I'm not trying to sit up on the phone and what you doing? Girl sitting over here cramping. I just feel like I want to put people in the headlock right now. I don't even know why. I just want to fight everybody. And we on the phone, girl, you're so crazy. You crazy. Oh, girl, I'm just tired. Ooh, that pizza got me feeling some type of way. Those are waste of conversations, waste of time, when you could be manifesting your assignment. You could be manifesting what God has placed on the inside of you. These are time wasted spirits. And you have to sit up there and you have to put them and say, hey, sis, I'm sorry, I'm working on something right now, and I'm going to be really busy probably for the next 3 weeks. So we'll be talking or what have you, but I'm probably not going to answer your phone calls as much. I had to learn to stop that. I had to learn to put a boundary there and say, hey, look, I can't. I remember having a friend that would call me every single day while she was in traffic, just so she can pass time while she was in traffic. And I would literally be in the middle of writing a book or working on something, and my little silly butt would stop talking and just be sitting there entertaining her. I had to cut that crap out. Because one of the most dirtiest feelings I got was when she would pull up in her driveway and she'd say, oh, all right, well, I'm home now. All right, girl, I'll talk to you later. And I had to learn. You wouldn't let no man come in your life and hit it and quit it like that. You wouldn't let no man come in your life and just, use you up like that. Why you letting friends do that? I had to learn to stop doing that. I had to pick up that phone. And one, I started sending her the voicemail. Two, I had to pick up my phone and say, hey, what you want? What's going on? Girl, nothing. And I would give her 2 or 3 minutes. And she was, oh, girl, yeah, it's just been a funny day. Why these people driving so slow? I said, sis, let me call you back. Stop. You don't like empty calories. To my health professionals out there. You don't like empty calories. Why are you having empty conversations when you got a whole purpose over there? You don't want to get no empty calories, but you got all these empty conversations that are not leading you anywhere. Y'all just talking in circles around each other because you're bored. And I'm going to tell you something. That female, as soon as she get herself a man, she going to go. She just bored. So stop allowing people to come in and distract you. And I'm really wanting to push as many of you as possible to go ahead and start manifesting those books, to go ahead and start manifesting those inventions and those ideas. I've given the women that I'm mentoring, I've given them an assignment. I'm not going to say what that assignment is, but I'm giving them assignments for the next 6 months. They're going to be manifesting stuff. That's one of the things, and that's one of the reasons that you should have yourself a coach or a mentor. I'm like, for the next 6 months, I need y'all. We're going to be doing some stuff. And I ain't talking about sending me no document talking about, okay, this would be my idea. No, you're going to manifest it. Meaning, if you create it, I need to see it in print. There's going to be, listen, I need to see it in print. And we'll get to this in a minute. But if you're going to manifest it, I need to see that joker in print. I need to see you come out with some stuff. I want you to experience, if you've never experienced this before, I want you to experience holding something that God has blessed you to create. I want you to experience holding it. I want you to experience that, because once you experience that, you won't want to go back to empty calories. You're going to constantly want to keep manifesting. You're going to constantly want to keep manifesting. So that's the only thing I really wanted to deal with you guys about on today. Like I said, I didn't have a really deep message or layered out message or what have you, but this is something that's been on my heart, something I'm really passionate about. If you want to know what my passion is purpose, is manifesting the blessings of God in your life. And listen to my single sisters, learning how to be single, because half of the folks that get mad that they ain't got no man, they ain't doing nothing. God likes to bless women who are constantly in movement. You know why? One, they're not going to be too dependent on their husbands. They're not going to settle. Awesome. But they're not going to settle for just any man. If you catch a woman, y'all, I'm not going to say promise not to get mad at me, because some people won't have to get mad. And I don't care. I have to love you enough to tell you the truth. You got to have somebody that love you enough to cut you. If you sitting there relying on the government, excited about a stimulus check, always trying to figure out where the next meal or the next blessing, like some money gonna come in the mail, and you're not doing anything to actually pull yourself forward, you're not pulling on your potential, how dare you even ask for a man? You got to understand what it's like to be married. Being married is more than you just going to work, coming home, going to work, coming home, cooking, cleaning, and slapping it up in the bedroom. It's more than that. From me, take it from me, somebody who's been married. When you're married, you want to manifest some stuff. You want to have something else that you're working on, so that you don't become too reliant or dependent on your husband's presence. Because if you become too, and the majority of women are too reliant on their husband's presence. Meaning he can't go nowhere. If he go out with his friends, they mad. If he wanted anything he wants to do, they mad. You know why? Because they're not doing anything right now. They're not doing anything right now. You want to get used to constantly moving, not just cleaning up your house and parting your children's hair. That's all well and dandy. I admire a mother who keeps her kids looking good, even if that means that she doesn't look so good. I admire a woman who keeps her house clean and keeps things in order. I admire a woman who goes into that kitchen, who will cook. I admire a woman who will go out in her yard and put in some work. But I also admire a woman who says, you know what? I don't want to rely on a man. I don't want to rely on a man. I don't want to be sitting up there like, okay, me and him, we can't break up because, he made $18 an hour and I make $16 an hour. And together that's 34, and that's been a blessing. I don't want to just let him go like that. No, if he's not right for you, you need to be sitting up there saying, even if all you making is 18, there's a different attitude when you know that God is going to do more in and through you, when you know that you haven't parked in a season. There's a different attitude that you have. You'll be like, this dude ain't right for bro, listen. It was an honor to know you, and I thank God for you. I pray God manifest a woman that's for you, but she ain't none of me, and I ain't none of her. And so, gone. Gone. You're not for me. You're not for me. And you're okay with that. You're okay with watching beautiful skin, dimples, and beautiful eyes and pretty teeth and muscles walk away from you, drive away from you in a nice car. You know why? Because you know God has better in store for you. You know that I deserve way more than that. There is no man that's fine enough to abuse me. Did y'all hear that? There is no man that's rich enough or fine enough for me to sit up there and say that I'm going to just sit up there and deal with his narcissism, because he sure look good while he doing it. Now, I have been stupid before. But that stupidity, the things that I had to experience in that stupidity woke my tail up. There is no man that's fine enough for me to sit there and just be like, well, I got to take this because we got all these bills. No, there are women out there right now, and I hate to say this, but it's a sad fact. There are women out there right now that are laying next to their killers. They're laying next to the men that are going to take their lives. You know why? Because the man make $2 more an hour than they do. because a woman is too freaking lazy to get up off of her tail and go out here and go back to college and go do what God told her to do. She's too lazy to do that. She wants somebody to come along and to just give it to her. So she figured, I'm going to put my coochie in the equation. Thank you, Sister Sinclair. God bless you. I'm going to put my coochie in the equation. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to lay it on him real good. So she put her body into the equation, not knowing, not realizing, not understanding, or not wanting to understand there are other females out there. Y'all, I'm going to tell you, in the book of Boundaries, I'm going to have to get it approved that I believe in being accountable. But in there, I deal with this thing about sexual compatibility. Do you know that there are people out there, there are women out there that are more sexually compatible with your guy than you are? You know, doing research, I came to understand, we're going to go somewhere, but I came to understand, I used to think, and when I did research, it actually blew my mind, but I used to think that, like, it is possible, and I'm about to blow y'all mind because it blew mine, that I thought it was possible for a woman to have so much sex that she can blow her own, she can get rid of her muscles. You know, she ain't got no grip left, you know, so no man can really, you know, they call them loose. No man could really enjoy her. And I did some research on that. And I found out that it wasn't true. Scientists and medical professionals say that the muscles in a woman's VJ return to their normal size. So in cases where a man has said a woman was loose, it was not a case where she had had a lot of sex. In most cases, it was sexual incompatibility. I'm going to say it in layman's term. She was born with a big, you know, she was big and he was small. He was probably a smaller guy, average size, teen or what have you, and she was born different. And that's what they say is sexual incompatibility. Sexual incompatibility. That means that's the reason why some of you, y'all know some of us, we used to be out there and you still like a virgin. You still like a virgin. And you sitting up there and you like, God kept me. Woo! I thank God, because man, I know I'd have had my back blown out a couple of times. And yes, indeed, Tyrone was no joke, but God kept me because I'm still walking around here like a virgin. No, baby, that's just the way you're made. If you came across a guy that was really small, you just weren't, it was sexual incompatibility. It was sexual incompatibility. I say that because I want you to understand that some of you think that your sex is going to win the man over, and so you want to get your bills paid, and rather than you get up and get a job and go to college and go ahead and deal with the hardship and the pressure that comes with, you know, manifesting your purpose, because there is resistance. Rather than you doing that, thank you, Sister Lamanda, rather than you doing that, you sitting up over there trying to put it on a guy, not realizing that, you know what, y'all may have a good sexual encounter, and you may be somewhat sexual compatible, but there are women out there who are more sexually compatible with your husband's size and shape, or with that, not your husband, but the guy you're sleeping with. There are women out there that are more sexually compatible with him, and that right there helps you to understand why some women can say, where, you know, I was with him, I was his first, you know, or he was my first, I was a virgin, so I was still tight, and he left me for a loose woman. How you know she loose? She probably ain't loose. She probably ain't loose. She done been out there, but she ain't loose. I'm trying to help you to understand that your coochie ain't gonna win nothing for you. I want you to get it. I want that to marinate in your mind. This down here is not going to win the game for you. It's not going to make life. There are some straight up, thank you, MJ. There are some straight up sexy, fine, gorgeous sisters out there who can't keep a man. They could keep a man. And you know what the crazy part is? I remember some years ago, and I just sometimes like to be raw with y'all. Make sure y'all liking this. If this is blessing you like this. I remember some years ago, this guy, you know, he had a conversation with my ex and myself or what have you, but he was talking about a female he was messing with, and the female was really, really skinny, and we knew the girl had been out there, but I remember him making this comment about them real small women, they backs being, blown out. He was like, she had no resistance, I guess. And he was like, he's a blessed guy, but she really had no resistance. You know what medical professionals say causes a woman to lose her muscles down there? Childbirth and age. Childbirth and age. So you can listen, y'all ain't hearing me. You can mess around and lose your grip because you out here having babies for one man, and your baby coming through that birth canal and all that. You out here losing your grip over one man when there's another man in the next season that's ready to love you. This other man was just trying to gratify himself sexually. You out here having babies for him and getting your whole self just messed up outside the will of God. I'm trying to tell you, sis, if you don't hear this from nobody else, hear this from me. Get out here and manifest your purpose. Manifest what God has put on the inside of you, and stop waiting on the government. Stop waiting on a stimulus check. Stop waiting on a welfare payment. Stop waiting on somebody to do something for you. Stop waiting on some man to come along and you thinking that, well, I'm gonna put him on. He pull up in first visit. He pull up in a Beamer, and you got that real ghetto mama that come up in there. She like, girl, he pulling up in a Beamer. Make mama proud. You better lock and load that one. In other words, you better make sure that you put it on him. When it comes to sex, there's really no such thing as putting it on him. You can do a lot of stuff in the bedroom. You can do a lot of things he's never experienced before or what have you. But in reality, the greatest sex is had through intimacy and love. Honestly, even for a perverted man. Perversion is usually an attempt, it's a generic attempt to get what God has afforded to his people. That's all perversion is. A man who goes about things God's way and loves the Lord and does things, do what God says do, and he's prayerful, and his wife is the same way, and they love each other, they love God with their whole hearts, and they're following the right order, and they learn each other, they learn to honor and respect each other. They have intimate sex. They know how to have intimate sex if they don't get caught up in the whole perversion thing. But they know how to have intimate sex. Perversion is just a generic attempt for somebody else to have what they have. That's all it is. When you get married, believe it or not, you teach each other. That's all. You're teaching each other what you like. Eventually, over time, you not only find his rhythm, he not only finds your rhythm, but you guys create your own music together, and you learn how to sing together, and y'all end up having some of the most amazing sex. So I want you to get out of this mindset that I met this guy and I think it's time. I think it's time. You're not gonna give him something that he hasn't already had. I want to put that out there. You're not going to give him something that he hasn't already had. So if you think that because he squealed and he screamed and he called his mama's name out in the bedroom, if you think that means that you're good in the bedroom, you are sadly deceived and mistaken, baby. That's what he does with every female. That's just his sexual language. That's how he does. He is a sensitive man. And so because he's a sensitive man, he happens to respond loudly to sex. Yes, he may have had a couple of encounters with women that were not sexually compatible with him. So that doesn't mean that you are special. That's the reason why God wants you to just manifest your purpose. Go out here and build. Go out here. Listen, the first thing you have to build is not a book, and it's not a business. It's not an invention. The first thing you have to build is your relationship with God. The next, you have to allow God to build your self-esteem. You got to build your relationship with God, and you got to allow him to build your self-esteem. You got to get to know yourself. When you begin to get to know yourself, you actually start looking around. I'm not lying. You start looking at people and realizing he would have never worked for my life. That's why God removed him from my life. Oh, that was no friend at all. That was a snake. You start looking around at your life and you start realizing how blessed you truly are. You start realizing, okay, I know more so what I need right now than anything. I know that for me, for example, when it comes to a relationship, I actually know what works better for me. And I'm not going to say I know the whole nine or what have you, because I know God's going to probably surprise me. But I know, like, when it comes to friends, I know what type of people I'm not compatible with when it comes to friends. I'm not compatible with narcissistic people. I'm not compatible with people who are just single and lonely and don't want to do nothing and just wait on a man, and they just want to have a friend as a distraction until they get a man. I'm not compatible with people like that. I don't have time for them. I don't have time for them. I'm compatible with people who are manifesting their purpose. Those are the friends that I have that we end up being friends for life, or we stick around, are people who manifest their purpose. They're people who manifest their purpose. They're people who sit up there and they're constantly building. Every time you look up, they're doing something. Every time you look up, they're constantly working on something because they are manifesting. Oh, thank you, Sister Christy.
With my sister Tiffany Buzzard, she got all the books,
yes,
the knowledge, the wisdom. Go get it.
Awesome. Thank you. God bless you. So I sent those books off last week, and I'm happy that you guys got them. Just a little FYI, it was funny when I went down to the post office because I didn't charge shipping on those books. I just charged everybody $30. When I got to the post office, they were like, I saw it was like $12 to ship. I was like, oh no, I'm not doing that $12 thing, because then I'm pretty much almost paying for the book. So long story short, I went and I just got the regular envelopes, and I was like, well, prayerfully they get. And the lady, she was almost trying to discourage me. She was like, well, because of the coronavirus, there's no telling when they're gonna get them. And I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna pray. I'm just gonna believe God that they're gonna get their books pretty fast or what have you. But I'm gonna send it off regular mail, and I'm really excited to see that everybody. I've been getting emails from people saying, hey, I got my book in the mail. Yeah. Janae, I think yours went in the mail. I'm pretty sure yours went in the mail. I know I just had one order sometime this week, and I haven't sent that one off yet. And I'll get to that. I actually have 10 more books left, so I'm going to give you guys an opportunity to wipe me out of those 10 that I have left. And that's that. But you sent it late. Okay, so yours is probably the one I haven't sent yet. I'm going to be sending, I don't know, Janae, I think yours, I'm pretty sure yours is one. Like, I think you sent yours today. I don't know. I just know I got one this week that I haven't sent off. But the other ones, I had one that sent hers the day that I was sending it off. And I remember, what I did in the books, I tried, like, if God gave me a word for everybody when I was signing it, I just made sure I wrote that word in the signing to let you know what God, to let you know what God laid on my heart for you. So I'll look to see, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Let me see if I can find it. But let me see here. You guys can go ahead and start putting your, okay, Janae, I think I have not sent yours. Yes, I have not sent yours. So I'm going to be sending those off on Monday. I'm sending them off on Monday. The next one, these ones that are going to come out now that I'm going to send out now, I still have a box left. So I'm going to send that out on Monday. Okay, so here, let me put my Cash App. If you do Cash App, I'll put it here. That's the Cash App. And here's my email address. Make sure you send me your address, the shipping information to that email address. It's $30, just straight up 30. But send your information to that shipping address. To that email address, and I'll send it out on. I'm going to be mailing them out on Monday, and I got 10. I have 10. So make sure you go ahead and get them, guys, because anything that comes after 10, I'll have to order it from Amazon, so I probably wouldn't be able to ship it, or I would have to order it and have it come to me first. Then I have to sign it, which would mean it would take longer to ship to you. But I do have 10. Microscribe Biology is, let me hold it up, the biblical authority of the prophetic scribe. So what it's about is writing. It deals a lot with writing. Well, it deals with writing books. It helps you to understand what level you're on as a writer, the different levels of the earth. It helps you to understand different, even spirits that you come across when you're writing, and how to overcome them, the different realms. Like one man's giant is another man's midget. And as you can see, this is a very thick book. It's over 500 pages. It's over 500 pages. Let me show you. And it's got some images. I just saw one. But it helps you to understand the purpose of the scribe. So for those of you who believe that God has called you to write, this right here, I'm not lying. This is an amazing, 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 amazing book. This is actually one of my favorite books. And I think the one I'm writing now is going to be my second favorite, or it could be my first favorite. I don't know. But this right here is my favorite book that I've written. This is the most powerful book that I've written. Like this image here shows you the purpose of a leader, how a leader holds you up or what have you. You can see that. So you got images in there, to give demonstrations and stuff like this. This particular one was in a box, but I did ship it off because you can see how the cover is. So for two people, I think I got three. I got three books that look like this because they were in the car. So for anybody that wants this, this one here, I probably can't ship this one because it looks, so two, I have to do two. So for two people, I'll ship theirs off for $25. I mean, you can, if you do cash up $25, then I will. Oh, PayPal. No, I don't have it on Audible yet. PayPal, sorry. Let me show. I'm gonna PayPal me. Give you my PayPal for those of you who want to pay through PayPal. But this has everything to do with the biblical authority of the prophetic scribe. It helps you to understand, like, how sometimes you can be in the middle of something and then a flash comes to you. Just really God helping you to see the world from a different vantage point or what have you, how God communicates with you. Yeah, that's my baby. It's time for him to go for a WALK. So I'm about to get off of here. He's very calm and sweet, like seriously. But it's time for him to go for a WALK. And this right here is a guilt trip. He makes me feel guilty. Like if I don't take him for one, he's just like, he'll keep looking out that door like, oh, outside. I would just love to spend time with you today. He's a sweet baby. He's a sweet baby. Milo, are you a good baby? Are you a good baby? Hey, baby. Hey, you. Hey, sweetie. Hi. Hi. What are you doing? What are you doing? Even looking into the place where his harness is. So I'm gonna talk to you guys for 10 more minutes. He is, and I want to. Yeah, hopefully you will one day, sis. Hopefully you will. And I'm gonna give you guys this. I think I've talked enough about purpose and everything. He's very smart, but I do want to share this with you guys for those of you who are singles and you feel like you need something to do. Go to a kill shelter and get you a pet. I got Milo from a shelter. I can't say it was a kill shelter because I don't know, but I got Milo from a shelter. Go get yourself a pet and practice loving something outside of yourself. That's how you break selfishness. That's how you break selfishness. And listen, if you happen to be one of those people that are abusive and like to hit on things, please don't do that to a pet. Don't go get yourself a pet. I'm talking about those of you who say, I want God to do some amazing things in and through me. Not no selfish, narcissistic person. Because I'm going to tell y'all something. The people that get on my nerves, I can't stand when a narcissistic person gets a pet. Like when they just sit up there and it's like they get the pet and then they realize that, oh my gosh, I don't get a chance to be selfish because the pet is more selfish than I am. And I got to spend money on this thing. Oh my gosh. And the next thing you know, you're like, hey, where's your dog? Or where's your cat? I had to surrender them to a shelter. I can't stand when narcissistic people get pets. It irks me. If you don't know I'm an animal lover, I'll answer your question. Let's see. Yeah, answer real quick because I'm trying to get out here before it gets dark. I have a question, Tiffany, if you can answer. I believe God wants me to be a writer, but I've never been able to express myself that way. How do I become a writer when I don't even know how? I'm going to tell you this. Everything you need is in this right here. Everything you need is in this right here. Every piece of advice I can give you on this live is in this right here. Basically, you just do it. It's not a complicated thing. It's not like a lot of times people think that they need to go through this. No, you just basically need to write. But it is good to have a mentor, a writing mentor. Like I have mentorship classes for writers. But it is good to have a writing mentor to, read a bunch of articles. For me, when I started off writing for first Yahoo. Yahoo. It was associated content at the time. I think I just like to say Yahoo because it was bigger. But associated content, and then I started writing for what was the other one? But then I opened a blog. You can create a blog free on blogger.com. And then I ended up, getting hired on to Examiner. And Examiner was so big. I remember thinking, I couldn't even believe Examiner took me. Also, what I did was I found this guy. I remember being hungry and not having any money and trying to get some money up. And I found this guy that was paying people to write eHow articles. And I think it was like 250 words or 500 words no, I think it was like 500 words. I don't remember. I think it was 500 words for 500 for $4 an article. He was paying $4 an article. And I darn near wiped that man out of money. He didn't know who he was dealing with. When you mess with a hungry scribe, he didn't know who he was dealing with. I asked him, I said, how many articles can I write? He said, as many as you want. I said, so on what subject? He said, whatever subject, as long as you're giving how-to advice. Listen, I was like, how to pop a blackhead, how to straighten up your edges, how to make people leave you alone. I was writing articles left and right. That man had to pay me over $300 in 1 week. Now think about that, $4 an article. He had to pay me over $300 in 1 week. How many articles is that? $4 an article. He had to pay me $300. That's about darn near 80 articles in 1 week. He put me on. He put a cap on me after that. He was like, "Look, I just do this many." He realized he was dealing with a hungry scribe. He realized I was gonna write about everything. Right, your gift will make room for you, and I'm glad you said that. Your gift will make room for you. Y'all got gifts, and the reason y'all ain't been invited in some rooms because you are not using your gift. And your gift that it deals with your talent, but it also deals with your seed. I like to make people mad because sometimes people are so broke minded they get mad when you start talking about. It also deals with your seed. When you're sowing a seed, I'll give you an example. If somebody, people who sow in me, I got people who regularly sow, who are regular sowers. Like if I put a book out, they're gonna come get that book almost every time. No amount of things I put out there, they never say that's too much. Every time I look up, I got a cash up from them. Every time I look up, they're investing into my life. Every time I look up, thank you, Sister Whitney, awesome. Yeah, email me, awesome. But every time I look up, I can't put anything out there without them sowing into me. I can't put anything out there without them sowing into me. Now, what does that do? Because God shows me through what they've done. He shows me because I recognize them because I see their name all the time. Every time I look up, I see their name. They're investing in something. They're sharing my statuses. They're liking the statuses. They're doing a lot. That opens doors. And so because of that, some of them, I'm like, hey, look, if you ever need anything, I got you. These are people, y'all, I'm gonna take some people off. These are people I would give free coaching to. These are people that, because they're always sowing, and they've sown into my life when they didn't even realize that God used them to sow, because maybe I went out there and I did this and I did that, and it was prophetic. They didn't even realize they were sowing into something. That I went out there and did this, and I'm like, okay, you know what? I think I did too much money today. I'm gonna have to kind of calm down. And it's like an alert went out in the spirit, and they sit up there, and the next thing you know, they sow. So your gift will make room for you. It's not just your gift of writing, your gift of inventing, but your gift of giving. That actually does make room for you. That actually does make room for you. When you sit back, thank you, Sister Venitra. God bless you. Sister Venitra is one of those people. Thank you, sis. But Sister Venitra, you're one of those people. But there are some people out there that I recognize their name. There are some people out there, I recognize their name just because they sow so much, because they give so much, and it's not even a money thing. It's like sharing your statuses, liking your statuses, encouraging you, writing emails, even prophesying. They're always there. And so you have no choice but to recognize them. And look, if they reached out to me and say, Tiff, I'm going through some stuff, I will stop what I'm doing. But then I have the entitled folks. Ain't never served 50 cents. And won't do nothing. Won't share your status, won't tell nobody, but then have an entitled mindset and think you're supposed to just give them stuff for free. Negro, please. Like, no. Right. It's like, I don't even know you. I ain't never heard of you. You listen to the videos, but you don't even engage. You've never reached out to me. You've never taken the time out. Because listen, I want to give you guys a secret, because it's not about me and this. Because when I'm talking like this, a lot of times I can almost hear like the people who have a poor mindset, how their minds are going. But even folks that sit back, there are some people, I've gotten a dollar seed from people, and I'm just sitting there looking like, okay, I get this cash up and it is like $1, and I'm like, $1, and I'm like, well, bless God, if that's all they got to give, bless God. I'm saying that to say, whatever you have to give, that will make room for you. I have gifts and talents. These are my gifts. I sow my gifts into my church. I also sow money into my church. I also sow time into my church. Like, I'm not teaching y'all something that I don't do, and I don't do a lot of. I do it so much that sometimes I be like, man, listen, Tiff, you doing a lot. You kind of need to, and then I'm just like, no, I want to be a blessing. You know what I'm doing? Y'all want to hear what I'm doing? I'm setting the stage for my children and my children's children. Whether those children come from my womb, I pray that they do, or if they're adopted or what have you, I'm setting the stage for them. My family set me up for generational curses. Baby, I'm setting up mine for generational blessings. Like, it don't even have to manifest to me. It can manifest in my kids' life. Some people are they're so self-centered. It's all about manifesting in my life. No. I think about the generational blessings that I did get from my great grandmother. She died when I was 5 years old, or 6. I was 6. I was talking to my sister the other day, and she helped me to understand that because I was 6 years old when my sister was born. And I was like, I knew my sister didn't know her. And I was telling my sister how amazing she was. And, how she used to love on me and pray for me and all this other stuff. And I was like, but you weren't here yet. I don't think you ever met her. My sister was like, no, Mom told me that she held me before she died. I was like, okay, so then that means I was 6 when my great grandmother died. But that woman prayed over me. I talk about that in that book, that all the crazy crap that happened to me, the reason the enemy couldn't get to me the way he wanted to get to me is because one day I was in church. I think I shared this. One day I was in church and God started moving real heavy in our church. I'm talking about heavy, heavy, heavy. Everybody's up in worship. Everybody's in praise or what have you. And I'm holding my God baby. She walks over to me. She's about a year old, maybe a year and a half at the time. I'm holding her. She's got her head on me. And I just went to praying over her because I thought about the abuse I took as a child. And I went to praying blessings and, protection over her. And I'm holding this baby and praying over her. And while I'm praying over her, I had a sudden vision. It was like this vision that came, and all I could see was me as a child. And I had oil all over my forehead. Like somebody had, and God said she prayed for you. He was letting me know your great grandmother prayed for you. The investments you make in his life, this is why you can't be selfish. The investments you make in his life are not about this life, it's about the next generation. My great grandmother didn't live to see me get past 6 years old, but what she prayed over my life protected me because, listen, when I was younger, I was raped at the age of 10 years old, and it was violent, and I got raped by that same boy several times before I told my parents. Before I finally got the courage to tell my parents. I'm telling you that the enemy started attacking me young. But you know something? My great grandmother's prayers are the reason that I still have breath in my body and that I have a sane mind. Because God knew what I was going to go through. See, I know some people want to say, well, wouldn't that mean that God will protect you? No, God puts people in your life to cover you, your parents or what have you. And sometimes if your parents are not protective enough, some things can happen to you. But it is a blessing and a favor of God, the reason that you still have your right mind to this day. You ain't crazy, because when I look at my story, when I look back over my life, when I look back, hey, brother Darnell, but when I look over my life, when I look at all of the crazy stuff that happened to me, there is no way on God's green earth that I should be saying. And I'm not just talking like, I'm talking about based on family members who went through less than me and they got mental health tickets. They got diagnoses and stuff. I've never been diagnosed with anything. God took care of me. God took care of me. You know why? Because somebody took the time out to pray over me. So pray over your children. Pray over your friends' children. If you're not praying over your friends' children, you're not a blessing. Everybody connected to me wins. That's just the way that I am. There is nobody in my life that I wish wrong to. There's nobody in my life that I would never even allow somebody in my life if I didn't want to see them blessed. And I would deal with that because I ain't going to be sitting around not wanting folks to get blessed. No, everybody, even their kids, going to get prayed over. Even if they got bad kids, Lord, send a butt whoopper. No, I don't pray that. But no, even if they got bad kids, I'm going to pray over those children. I'm going to say, Lord, protect them all the days of their life. I cover them with the blood of Jesus in the name of Christ Jesus. If it's a little girl, I'm praying over her that she's not molested, that she's not raped. You know why? Because I went through that. I'm praying over her, guard her purity in the name of Christ Jesus. Don't allow her to get caught up in these images that are on the television set that tells her that she needs to be a video vixen and a hoe. No, she's more than that. She's more than that. I'm telling you how to, y'all, I want y'all to manifest the blessings of God. And I'm going to go. I want y'all to manifest the blessings of God. I know what we have to do. And we're not even on this no more. Because, hey, if you're going to get it, praise God. You invest in your future. If you don't, that's that. We're not on this no more. I want to deal with you on this. Whatever it is that God assigns you to do, do it. Be a blessing in every area. I'm telling you how to get the blessings of God. Be a blessing everywhere that you go. Be a blessing everywhere. Everybody that, like, if I'm in your life, I want to be a blessing to you. Y'all want to hear this? That's the reason why I don't connect to everybody. Everybody in my life, I want to be a blessing. You can't be a blessing to some folks. You can't be a blessing to some folks because they'll take advantage. They'll just sit there and suck it up and keep taking it. They'll make you despise being a blessing. They'll make you'll be so afraid to give. You'll swear that everybody trying to take advantage of you. That's what happened to some of y'all. The reason you can't give is because somebody wounded you in that area. And that's the reason your finances are in a headlock. The enemy got your finances in a headlock because he got you in a headlock. Listen, one of these days, I'm going to come out here and I'm going to teach y'all. I can teach you how to walk into your wealthy place, but it's going to hurt you. I'm going to have to hurt you in that area. I'm going to have to offend you in that area. I'm going to have to scare you in that area. I got to get you to get out of that headlock and put that devil in the headlock. You got to stop walking into places and playing the damsel in distress. Waiting on somebody to be a blessing. You're dependent and you're always waiting on somebody to bless you. And that's the reason why God hasn't made room for you, because your gift, you won't manifest it. You got gifts all on the inside of you, but you won't get a mentor to pull it out of you. Why? Sis, why? But you want a man. You want a man, but you won't allow a mentor to come and cut you. Y'all, my pastor was talking about this. He was teaching on this. Y'all pray and ask God to send cutters into your life. But then also ask him to give you the stamina to stay and not be offended and not to clap back. Ask God to send some cutters in your life. You need somebody to cut you. You need somebody to come in and tell you, you know good and well that ain't none of your husband. Stop acting like a hoe. Why you dressing like that? Sis, stop. That's all right. Keep on. You keep with this guy and watch what happened to you. You need somebody to cut you. But y'all don't want them. You want everybody in your life talking about some girl, he cute. Girl, he cute. I like him for you. No, baby, I will tell you. Pray. That's all I'm going to tell you. Pray. Don't you have sex with that boy. Don't go to his house. Don't let him come to your house. You pray. You pray. Don't give him the sin offering. James 4:7, submit yourself to God and resist the devil, and he will flee from you. Pray. Because when the enemy is found, he got to give you back your stuff. Sis, pray. Don't open your heart up for this man. Just talk to him. Be logical. Don't get emotional with him. Take your time. Don't be in a rush. I know he's cute. I know he drive a nice car. But sis, as big of a blessing or whatever it looks like a blessing that Satan can give you, God has something better in store. Sis, pray. You need somebody to cut you. You need somebody to tell you, you know something? I'm going to tell you what I said. I said to a friend of mine, I got her one day. I told her, I said, you're too self-centered. You are way too self-centered. I said, every time I talk to you, every conversation we have is me, I. All you do is talk about yourself. And I said, folks get tired of that. How you expect to get a man? I can't even be on the phone with you. I can't say nothing. You talk too much. You talk too much about yourself. And the crazy thing is, a lot of women are like that, and they don't know it because they ain't got nobody cutting them. They ain't got nobody putting them in their place. They ain't got nobody telling them, sis, you need to get rid of that. I know that you've been wounded. I know that you always, like your parents spoiled you, but if you don't stop being so self-centered, nobody's gonna stick with you, not even your friends. Nobody gonna want to be around no self-centered person. Where every time I'm around you, you're like, oh my God, girl. So let me tell you what happened to me. And then every time it's just me, oh, my feelings. Me. You know how many women I talk to like that? Just on the phone, called ourselves friends. And I'm like, yeah, I don't want to talk to her. And I had to tell her, like, sis, I don't even want to take your calls. You talk entirely too much about yourself. You talk entirely too much about yourself. And what that does is, if the woman it wants to change, and she's been asking God, why is it that I don't have the husband, I don't have the car, I don't have the house, I'm just a grandma? Why is it like when I go out here and I'm trying to get a job, all these bad things are happening to me? You need somebody to, God will send somebody to tell you the truth if you're not crazy enough to get offended. But if you get offended and you want to go talk to your little apathic friends who tell you whatever you want to hear. And girl, she gonna tell me I'm self-centered. I know she didn't tell you you was self-centered. Girl, you want me to slap her for you? Because you know I will. That ain't your friend. That's just somebody who got some anger issues. That's it. You want to go out there and talk to the weapon that was formed against you about the person that was sent to be a blessing to your life. And then what God does is God removes the gift and he takes that person away. He takes that person out of your life. And now you sitting up there, I'm waiting on God. No, he gonna send another. You gonna have to pass that test. Ain't no getting around it. There's no getting around it. You're gonna have to pass that test. You're gonna have to allow the cutter to come in and cut you. You're gonna have to allow the person to come in and dig up your skeletons. You gotta allow somebody to come in, and you gotta stop with this. Well, I don't trust nobody. The folks in my family, y'all, listen. I get it. I think a lot of me and my family, we've had trust issues. I talked to my sister, and she told me, man, she said, Tip, I don't trust nobody. And she was basically telling me, I don't even trust you, you know. But I've had trust issues because of the amount of toxicity in my family. But I had to give that stuff up. Meaning I had to sit there and learn and give to learn to trust people when I didn't trust them. Meaning I had to sit there and just be vulnerable when it scared me. I had to learn to be vulnerable when it was scary to me. When I was like, okay, when I'm looking at folks like, I don't know now. I don't know if I need to, be open to you, not like that. I had to force myself and say, you know what? It's scary to me, but I'm going to have to take the risk. Thank you, Sister April. Awesome. All right, so that means I got 7 books left. Seven books left for those of you who want to get a copy. I'll be sending it off on Monday. So I'll make sure I repost the stuff. That's the Cash App. Here's my email address. Once let me know that you want me to sign a book. And then for those of you who want to pay through PayPal. So I got 8 left. Awesome. I got 8 left. So make sure, and of those 8, the book is 30. It's 30. And I'm going to show you it again. You see it's over 500 pages. It's an 8 by 10. It's heavy. It's not only heavy in the natural, but it's heavy in the spirit. It's not only heavy in the natural, but it's heavy in the spirit. I like to look at these drawings in here. Okay, I already showed y'all that one. Let me get back. Let me show you something. Right, give up the victim mentality. Here's another image. I try to give you guys a picture. Like what you see, yeah, it should be another image before this. And this is counting the cost of leadership. When you go to an author's book table, this is what you see. At a book table, this is what you see at the book table. But if you can see in the realm of the spirit, This is what it really looked like, her trying to get the book to you. You see that? She went through hell to write that book. She had to go through some stuff. You can send it to my Cash App and I can mail it to you. That way I can mail it to you and I can sign it. Make sure you let me know what you want me to. I mean that you want me to sign it, y'all. If you order, make sure you send. It's $30. It's $30. So anyhow, I gotta go because I'm not gonna be able to walk him that far because it is getting dark. I want y'all to know that I love y'all. But listen, I'm gonna push you. I'm gonna push you. I'm gonna pull on your potential. It's called microscribology. It's called microscribology. It's for those of you who are called to write. It's called microscribology. The biblical authority of the prophetic scribe. It's one of the heaviest books I've ever written. It heavy, literally, in both senses. But I love y'all. I pray God's blessings over you. But for the rest of 2020, look, I'm gonna pull on you. I'm pulling on your potential. I want you guys to manifest God's blessing. I want to see fruit in your life. I don't want you to just be on here listening, but I want you to manifest those fruits. I don't want you to be just single and waiting on some guy to come along. For those of you who are single, I want to see y'all out there doing some stuff. I want, yes, you can Cash App it. I'll put it in here again. But I want to see you guys out here doing some stuff. Let me see how many spots. I think we got. Thank you, Sister Aisha. Thank you. Yeah. But I want to see y'all manifesting like the blessings of God. For me, I'm gonna say this. God has called me. Thank you, Sister Janae. God bless you. God has called me to do a lot of great things, or what have you. And I want to take some people with me. I want to see you guys. No, my Cash App doesn't have my picture. It doesn't have my picture. I need to put it on there, don't I? I really do. I really do. I'm going to put it on there today. So I just wanted to say that I love y'all, but get ready for this year because I'm going to really pull on y'all. I'm going to really pull on you. I really want to see y'all doing some great and amazing things. I don't want you just sitting around waiting on a guy. I don't want you to just be sitting there, twirling your hair, going to work and coming home. I really want to see you out there doing what God has designed you to do. Whenever I leave this earth, I want to say, to be said that there are people out there who have done things because I went out here and I pushed them. So I may not be your personal mentor, but I'm going to be your distant mentor. So I'm going to push you. I'm going to correct you. I'm going to stretch you. I'm going to get on your nerves, but I'm going to love you. I'm gonna love the hell out of you, and literally the hell out of you. I'm gonna love the hell out of you. All right, let me go and walk this one. All right, I love y'all. Y'all keep praying for me. We'll talk again soon. All right, bye bye.